Stream the language.
Hey, we're back, and it's week 3.
Yeah.
You've been everywhere.
Been out of the country mostly. Been in New Zealand, so I didn't have a chance to work with you, but I know the type of person you are, and the way you're going at this is you want to master this, you want to learn it, and you're learning it, I think, the right way. You're starting over. We got rid of a couple of bad habits, and so now we're at the point to where you were left alone for, gosh, it's been almost 2.5, 3 weeks now. This is the last time I've seen you. So tell us where you're at and tell me what you're feeling and where you feel like you're at in being able to use a mouth call.
Well, I've been practicing a lot, and as you know, the season opened here. So opening day, I was out in the woods in Alabama, and I'm just gonna try and do some calls real quick, just to see. I felt like the sounds were good enough. We've recently made a tip video about how, it's the cadence. It's not about the sound, the pureness of the sound. It's about the cadence and the rhythm of the sound. And so sounds definitely weren't perfect, but the cadence were good. Unfortunately, that day there was too much water where we were hunting, so didn't really get on any birds.
Did you hear any gobble at all?
We heard one the next day.
Probably so far away because of the water he couldn't even hear you, could he?
Yeah.
So you didn't get your chance to challenge a gobble with your calling.
No.
But it's amazing how much calling sounds different in the woods, your calling or anybody's calling in the woods, than it does if you're sitting at home or in the truck or in a bathroom, in the office or whatever. So you get out there, you can hear that echo and kind of hear what it sounds like. But you're right, the cadence and the rhythm is the most important part. And I think we've mentioned this before, after turkey hunting for the past 30 some odd years, some of the most awfulest sounds I've ever heard coming through the spring turkey woods has come out of a hen, whether it be old hens, raspy hens, cutting that sounds like somebody's trying to cut on a cracked slate call or whatever. So I wouldn't really worry about how pure you can sound until we get that cadence and rhythm and truly how to make the airflow go across the call. So let us hear where you're at right now versus where you were. See, now you've got that high, and it's a constant clear high. It's that meow, and you breaking off into a little bit of a coarser yelp, which is awesome. And that call you're doing that on, honestly, it's kind of hard to do it on that call. Now that you're at that point and you feel comfortable enough to go ahead and take your call into the woods and start hunting with it, my hopes are that you'll get the opportunity to run across a hen.
Yeah.
That you either call up or you get to listen to, because I'll be honest with you, I could sit here and tell you all kind of stuff about what to do, how to do it, what sounds to make, but when you hear them do it and you hear the gobblers respond or the hens are responding to you and you start talking back and forth, it's absolutely incredible. So I hope in the next week or two that you can go in the woods, run across a hen, and be able to listen to her and capture that and put it in your mind and try to do exactly what she's doing. But yelp for me one more time on that. Let's say it's right at daylight and you're fixing a tree yelp to one because he's been gobbling this fly down time. He should be on the ground. Give me a little soft tree yelp. Holy smoke, dude! You couldn't do that 3 weeks ago.
Definitely not.
That's probably one of the best tree yelps I've ever. Do that again. And to me and you, that sounds like minute as far as the sound, but a turkey can hear that so far. That's incredible. All right, now let's say the turkey's on the ground, he's down there gobbling, you trying to get his attention. Give me a little bit louder, a little bit more of aggressive yelp, something that you were doing last week that you normally don't do when you're practicing, but you were doing it in the woods because you were turkey hunting. See, 3 weeks of true practice.
Yeah.
And you've already, as far as the tree yelp, you've got that mastered on that call. Now we've been using the 2-reedy call, one of our old calls from the original series, and we're going to swap over this next week. I won't be here all week because I'll be out turkey hunting, but I want you to start picking up on some of the new calls, especially some of the new mossy oak style calls that we have with some of the cuts. And I want you to try that back cut first.
Okay.
And I want you to work on that, play with that for the next week. If you get some footage on your phone, go ahead and get it so we can hear yourself. But guys, just keep practicing. Look, this isn't a testament that it doesn't happen overnight. But where Liam's at right now and the way he's yelping on a 2-reeded mouth call, there's no doubt in my mind that when he gets to this 3-reeded call, especially with a cut in it, it's going to amaze you at what you can do based on what you're doing on that call. So, man, I'm amazed at what you're doing, and I'm proud, and I can't wait to the day that I get a text from you with you holding up a big old gobbler. I hope I'm with you. Hope I'm with you, and you keep yelping like that, you can come call for me any day.